Welcome everyone to another episode of Holden's Take. I'm here with Mckinzie, Garnett.
Hey everybody.
So over the weekend we had the AFC and NFC championships game, and they were probably one of the worst games I've ever seen refereeing wise.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Saints were robbed, first of all.
So Saints were robbed of opportunity.
I won't say that they were robbed of the whole game because there was multiple missed calls on both ends.
And they at that point, I believe it was a 3rd and 10 where they missed the call. And
I think
the
so.
first two downs, they had thrown the ball twice, and they were both incomplete passes. And they should have been trying to run down the clock when you're that close. Because if you do have to settle for a field goal, at least you don't let the Rams have a chance to.
And they have a reliable kicker.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
You don't have to worry about him maybe shanking it like Cody Parkey did. You don't have to worry about that.
But I don't know. I think the Saints could have managed that situation better, but that was definitely a missed call there. And even the defensive back who hit the guy said it was a missed call.
Apparently, it was 2 missed calls. It was, I wouldn't say not targeting, but head-to-head contact.
Yeah. No, because even if he had caught it, they should have thrown a flag for that.
Oh, yeah. And I just remember watching it. I was almost in disbelief that they didn't call that.
I was up at the Cav working that night, and everybody in there was outraged because, that should have been a call.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty bad calls, but I feel like that has to be one of the worst calls.
Yeah,
like ever.
One of the worst missed calls ever. And now the Saints
have to suffer for it.
And look at the last 2 years. Last
year
they had the Minnesota Miracle, and this year they get robbed by the refs. So it's just like, what kind of...
And Drew Brees is running out of time.
Yeah, and he's running out of time. He's had 2 incredible teams and incredible seasons the last 2 years, but something just happens each time where he can't quite make it.
It's really, really unfortunate. Just seeing all the reactions from the players. Mark Ingram's interview, he was just barely could speak. And I felt for him.
Yeah,
because you're like so close, and then something happens like that.
You know what was funny is before the game I was reading how the Rams fans were making a petition to get rid of that NFL officiating crew.
Really?
Because apparently Sean McVay was like 1-8 in his games again with those refs, and like the penalties were always against the Rams in terms of yardage and stuff. And then it ends up that officiating crew is the reason, well, not the reason, but a huge part of why they won the game. And it's just sort of crazy.
Yeah, it was really surprising. But huge props to the Rams. I can't take away that they're in the Super Bowl. This is what McVay's 2nd year.
Yeah.
Goff's 3rd year. It's pretty amazing, and the turnaround, the turnaround that he did. Nick Foles blesses you.
Yeah, sorry, Saint Nick.
Yeah, Saint Nick blesses you.
But yeah, good for them to getting to the Super Bowl, but I don't know. I think Todd Gurley didn't show up at all.
He only had 16 yards.
The Saints. He did not show up at all. And if he does that again, C.J. Anderson's not going to be enough to beat the Patriots. And their receiving core without Cooper Kupp is not bad by any means. Robert Woods is great.
And Brandon Cooks. And what's the tight end?
He's got a funny last name. I can't think of it.
You all know who we're talking about.
Yeah, look him up. But yeah, they've got a good squad, but in order to win the Super Bowl, their team is based on sort of a talent aspect. And Todd Gurley's a great talent, and if they don't utilize that or show that the right ways, they just won't stand a chance.
And it's also going to be what Jared Goff shows up.
Yeah.
Is it going to be this Jared Goff, or is it going to be...
Well, and this Jared Goff didn't even show up to start the game.
Oh, no. He came out after halftime, I'd say.
Yeah, so... And the Patriots, if you come out like that against the Patriots, you're not going to come back and beat them.
You're not going to come back.
If they come out against you like that, they can still come back and beat you. But if you come out like that against them, you don't stand a chance.
All right, the Chiefs also played the Patriots that day, which the Patriots won in overtime. Brady with the comeback win. Well, wouldn't say comeback win, but final drive win and
that was a good game.
Marched down the field in overtime and won the game. Also, yeah, very good game. Also, some controversial calls in that game. The Julian Edelman, I guess it was a punt. I guess it was a punt. I didn't see it. What was it? Like, they think the ball hit him?
Yeah, and all the replays showed that it didn't, but they said the ruling on the field stood because there wasn't enough evidence. Like, it looked very close to, like, maybe it could have hit him, maybe it didn't. And everybody was arguing like crazy about it in the moment. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that was too bad because, I don't know. With the calls that stand, it's just because they don't have enough evidence one way or another. And I guess they just really didn't have a good enough look. And you could argue that they did have a good enough look, but I don't know. There were some bad calls in that game, too, for sure.
Roughing the passer on Brady, where I think it was D. Ford. His hand just touched his shoulder pad, face mask, barely. This is why I hate the roughing the passer call. I like it in some cases because if it's a late hit and it's blatantly obvious, throw penalty flag. But if he hits you like 1 or 2 seconds after you get rid of the ball, some of these guys, how do you stop yourself?
Yeah,
especially if you have momentum. Especially if you have your head down and the amount of momentum going towards you. How are you going to stop yourself in time? Same way that I think, like roughing the kicker.
Yeah,
like I don't understand that. It does. It really is. I'm not going to say it. It's kind of unfair that you're forced to stop on a dime.
It is a little bit. It is, and it's all about, safety and whatnot, but at the same time,
football.
It puts the defensive players in a difficult position.
It does, and it gets people hurt.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Super Bowl, Rams, Patriots, who do you got?
So, last week we did our predictions, and I got it halfway right. I said the Saints were going to win, and if it wasn't for that blown call, they would have, and I'd be 100% right. But I think with the Rams and the Patriots, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be the Patriots. I think the Rams have been too hit or miss, and unless all of their players come out and hit, they're not going to win. I think the Patriots, if certain players aren't doing well, Bill Belichick knows how to scheme it up to utilize the other players. When the Patriots were playing the Chiefs yesterday, there were a couple of times where it was like he had gone to Edelman like 3 or 4 times in a row on third down.
In overtime, they all like did slants. It felt like.
Yeah, and he had hit Edelman a bunch, and then there was one play where it was like everybody was like, "Oh, he's gonna go to Edelman," and then Gronk busts out for this huge play.
Yeah,
and it's just sort of like they can attack you in so many different ways. With the big body Gronk receiver, with the Edelman fast shifty guy, with Philip Dorsett just trying to burn you down the field. I mean, and then their running back situation, they're loaded.
Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead,
James White, they can all catch out of the backfield, which makes them all dangerous in that sense. But then they can all also run the ball. So, and then you got Brady, who maybe not the most physically talented quarterback, just in terms of like the pure throws that you can make, but in terms of just understanding the game, like the mental aspect, it's going to be tough for the Rams to beat them.
Also, before you give your prediction, huge shout out to the Patriots defense. That was really surprising. In the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Chiefs are about to like drop like multiple touchdowns on them.
Yeah.
They actually did pretty good.
No, they really did. I was kind of expecting the Patriots defense to get roasted and Brady just having to try to keep up, and they did a little towards the end, but I mean, that's prevent defense, and that always happens, and that's what keeps the games exciting at the end of the game, but yeah.
So you're saying Patriots win the Super Bowl?
I'm saying Patriots are going to win, and it'll be relatively high scoring, something along the lines of a 35-30, 35-32. Do
you think it goes into overtime?
I wish, but with both of the divisional the conference championships going into overtime, I mean, the odds of that happening, I would love it, but it doesn't seem likely. And the way the Patriots are going to win, the Rams won't really have a chance to send it into overtime. But the way the Rams are going to win, the Patriots would have a chance to send it into overtime, if that makes sense.
It kind of makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so if there is going to be overtime, it's going to be the Patriots forcing it, I feel like.
Yeah. All right, now before I get my prediction, I have one more question. Do you think that'll be Brady's last game? If they win?
Well, once he gets his 6th ring, I think he can destroy half of the known life in the universe with a single snap of his fingers. So, I think after that he'll just retire to a farm in some distant galaxy. No, I don't know. Brady's pretty incredible, and I guess it may depend on how other things happen.
Yeah, because there's rumors Gronk may retire. Yeah. So I feel like it kind of depends a lot on. Well, I wouldn't say it all depends on Gronk, but
yeah,
I think.
But they're buddies, At least it seems like it. So I don't know. Like you're saying, Gronk and Brady may be a little intertwined in their decision making, but for Brady, I don't know. You got enough money, you got enough rings. Why keep playing? But people love talking crap to Brady, and he just loves shutting them up. And so why not keep doing that? Because you can always do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm still on the fence. I don't think if he wins, I don't think he's leaving.
Yeah.
I think he's still going to come back. He's like, why not win one more?
Yeah. No, that's going to be his mentality for forever.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not win one more? You know?
So I also think the Patriots are going to win. I unfortunately hate to say it because I'm tired of the Patriots. Their fans are spoiled, man. Boston fans are spoiled.
Yeah.
But I do think...
Says the guy wearing the Red Sox hoodie.
All right. Okay, but I'm not like a fan of every Boston team.
Yeah, I know, but it's just funny. Boston sports are...
Man, I hate Boston sports teams. They get everything.
Go Red Sox.
Go Red Sox, though. But yeah, I think it'll actually kind of be low scoring.
Yeah.
I'm not like a 10-3 outcome, but I think in the lines of Patriots 24, Rams 14 or 17, I could see it going both ways.
Yeah, I think maybe not necessarily an offensive explosion, but I think the defenses may get some points here, and so the game may not end up being like super low scoring. The offenses may not do so much, but I could see a couple of defensive touchdowns or something here.
Oh, I definitely could too. So we both think the Patriots will win. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, usually the Patriots only do well when you don't believe in them. So we're using reverse.
Brady, we don't believe in you. I think Jake Plummer is honestly better than you.
Is Hoyer not the backup there anymore? Is he retired?
Oh no, Hoyer's there.
Yeah.
I saw something today where they should draft Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they'd ever reach on him.
No.
If he's there, they might.
All right, now we're moving on to the main point of this podcast, which is we will be going over all 32 NFL teams and what they need this offseason. So, Mckinzie, do you want to start with the NFC or AFC in whatever division you want?
I don't care. Let's go. We think the Patriots are going to win, right?
Right.
So let's start with their division, AFC East.
Okay. So AFC East.
All right. So, just starting with the Patriots, you sort of made a mention out to it.
Yeah.
About the Kyler Murray thing. They do sort of need to figure out what their future is at quarterback. You know, not a guy that you bring in to start next year. But you never know what's going to happen. Brady's getting older, and he's looked pretty good and pretty strong. But he's torn an ACL before.
Well, that was a long time ago.
That was a long time. It was a long time ago, exactly. You know, he might be due for another one, especially on the other end of 40.
Yeah.
But
I have that. I think they should try to sign Teddy Bridgewater. He's experienced. He has playoff experience. I believe. I think he does.
Yeah.
And he's still relatively young.
Yeah.
And
I think he's a little bit of an unknown commodity. You don't know if he's like your future guy or if he could just be a good backup or if he's sort of. So
maybe sign him for like a 1-2 year deal.
Yeah. Test him out a little. Maybe, maybe Brady does go down with something and you need to shove him in there and see.
Not saying we want him to.
No.
I never wish injury upon
The only
someone.
time I ever wished that was last year when the Eagles played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Every single play the Eagles were on defense, I was wishing Brady would break a leg. But other than that, no.
And also, I think they should draft a tall receiver. When was the last time they had one?
Yeah.
Randy Moss.
Yeah, and he worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Dolphins, I think they should trade Ryan Tannehill and find their new QB.
Yeah, I'm on sort of the same thing I was saying with the Patriots quarterback.
Yeah, I think
quarterback's an issue.
The whole AFC East, I think, I have written down is quarterback.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with the Jets and the Bills getting their...
Well, hold on. We'll get to that. With Buffalo, I think they need to help develop Josh Allen. Josh Allen has the legs. He doesn't have the arm yet.
And I don't think he's got any protection either.
Oh, no.
I think their offensive line's been pretty terrible, and you can see LaShawn McCoy's a good runner.
Name 3 other players than Josh Allen.
Yeah, well,
LaShawn McCoy.
There's that rookie wide receiver they've got, Tay Jones or something? No,
Zay Jones, maybe.
Zay Jones. I don't know. I think he got, arrested at a department store with being naked or something. I don't know. But, there aren't a whole lot of Bills players I can name. There's some good linebackers and defensive ends they've got.
Vontae Davis, who retired at halftime. I don't even know.
I don't know. See, but the point is, the Buffalo Bills have potential, but they need a better offensive line to give Josh Allen some protection. You don't need your rookie quarterback scrambling every other play. He's been doing a good job with it, but even Cam Newton, who's taken a lot of huge hits, eventually they add up, and you can start to see it now at this point. There's sort of questions about his health overall.
The Jets, I have stick with Sam Darnold and just help him, really.
Yeah.
I think Sam Darnold's going to be a great quarterback one day if they help him.
I think that, first of all, the Adam Gase interview with his eyes bugging out of his head is one of the most entertaining things possible. But I do agree they need to help Darnold. I think Robbie Anderson might be set to become a free agent. They either need to retain him or get somebody else who can be a good weapon for him. Because, Anoon was not bad. I just said his name. Who's the guy I just said his freaking name?
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson, thank you. Robbie Anderson, he's a good speed guy that can stretch the field for you, and that's always huge to have on an offense. It opens so much more underneath. And so I think, the Jets still have a couple of steps to make towards being a contender, and the first one is having Brady retire. But other than that, they just need to add some more offensive talent around Darnold.
Yeah. Let's go to the AFC North. We have Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Baltimore, trade Joe Flacco, and I think they should sign a veteran quarterback to help Lamar Jackson, especially learn how to throw.
Isn't that sort of what RG3 is supposed to do? And I think less about learning how to throw, but more learning how to not screw up your career by running around too much.
I mean, maybe, but I think just safety-wise, I want to bring in a veteran.
Yeah, like a Josh McCown, somebody nice and boring. But I think one thing they need to do is give Lamar Jackson a guy he's got a good connection with on offense, like a good wide receiver or something.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I mean, I've seen Lamar Jackson on the highlight reels and stuff, but a lot of those weren't his throws.
It was his running.
And some of his throws, I think, based on what I've seen, and I'm no expert, he likes to throw up those sort of jump balls to the big body receivers. And that's at least the type of throw he made. I don't know if that's his favorite kind of receiver, but find out what kind of receiver he likes, find out the throws he likes to make, give him sort of that safety valve option for his throwing abilities.
Pittsburgh, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, they've got so many problems. They've got to figure out their locker room overall.
Yeah.
I think their offensive line, just from everything I've seen, is like a pretty cool group, and they're a pretty good group, but they're getting a little older. Their offensive players, like Le'Veon Bell, that's a whole story in and of itself. But if you don't have him, you got James Conner, who's been a good replacement.
And he's young.
But still, that kind of personality just makes things messy. And then that leads perfectly into Antonio Brown. And you got Juju Smith-Schuster there in the wings to replace him.
And then you have Big Ben.
And you got Big Ben, who is a personality and a news story of his own, in a different way. But think about when Mason Rudolph was drafted. Like, Big Ben was the biggest diva ever. Yeah. Like, questioning the team's draft picks in the third freaking round. There's a lot of good players we could get. Well, dude, you're like, I don't know. Not exactly the youngest quarterback. Definitely not the healthiest looking or acting.
And you will throw 5 picks a game.
Yeah, you'll throw a 5-touchdown game and follow it up with a 5-pick game.
So you're also really inconsistent.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think they've got a lot of problems on offense. Their defense is really coming together. T.J. Watt's really good.
Yeah,
James Conner's a good bright spot on the offense along with their line. And Juju Smith-Schuster's good, but you can't win with just that.
Right.
I think Vance McDonald was good at tight end, too.
I have trade Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
And I might, call me stupid, trade Big Ben, too. Yeah. I think you need to get rid of them, too. There's no clear leader on the team. Roethlisberger likes to throw people under the bus. He never takes blame. It's always someone else's fault. It's always the rookie receiver. It's always this person's fault. They're just a huge problem.
I agree.
I really also want them just to find a leader on the team.
Yeah.
I really would like. I mean, Juju's young, but I would like to see him take a leadership role in this team.
Yeah, and he could. He's already taken sort of that personalities in a lot of the ads and stuff. And whatnot.
And I mean, the last person I can think of was Palomalu and Hines Ward, who really were like a big leadership type person.
I just wonder what you could get for Big Ben trading him.
It could be a 4th round. Well, I don't think they're going to. It could be a 3rd round pick and some no-name player, or.
See, what I think their best thing to do would be if they could potentially get some sort of really good player at a spot they need.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know who would do this where. I can't even think of a situation, but if they could get a good receiver to sort of replace Antonio Brown to put along with Juju Smith-Schuster and get rid of Big Ben, then their only hole would be quarterback. You trade Antonio Brown and you're getting some good picks that you could maybe leverage up to a good quarterback, but I don't know.
Cleveland, for all I said was just pray this new head coach works out. Because, I mean, once they fired Hugh Jackson, looked pretty good. They looked actually pretty good. I love Baker Mayfield. He's one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
But just pray that works out because they were so close to making the playoffs, too.
They were. I think one thing you could potentially do is add just another player on defense that's sort of a big-name impact player. Not necessarily a big name, but an impact player.
Yeah.
Either they stop plays in the backfield, like a good run stopper, or they're going to turn the ball over, like a ball hawk secondary kind of guy. And they've got some good guys in their secondary.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what would really benefit them more is either a really good linebacker coming in there to help diagnose plays on the defense or a really good run stopper to just plug up the middle.
Landon Collins, I think, is a free agent.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah, I think you're right.
That would be a good addition to the team.
Yeah.
And this year with free agency, I think, I mean, I'm not an NFL player, but I would sign with Cleveland. If I'm being all honest.
If you're looking at the trend, yeah.
It looks like a really good team.
Yeah.
They have Antonio Callaway, Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, Duke Johnson, Nick Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
And then on defense, they have Miles Garrett. Peppers, I think his name, Denzel Ward.
Mm-hmm. We've got Jamie Collins at linebacker from the Patriots.
Yeah, they have some good. I forget his name. He's another linebacker, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, they've got some good players, and
like I would want to play for Cleveland.
Yeah, they sort of could be. The Bears took a big leap between the last couple of years. I think that Browns could be sort of the next team to do that.
All right, now what about the Bengals? I honestly I didn't put anything down because I have no clue what they
climb out of the dumpster that's on fire that you are inhabiting.
Yeah, but hey, they're off to a good start. They got rid of Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, which they've been needing to do for a handful of years now. But I don't know. There's a lot of problems on the team.
Is Andy Dalton good?
I don't know, but I don't even know if that's the only hole you can address right now. If you get a new quarterback in there, the offensive line's not good enough to protect him.
Okay, but they have a good wide receiver core.
They do. And they got Joe Mixon, too.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah. So they've got some good offensive weapons.
John Ross, and then there's another receiver. I can't forget his name. They have some pretty good tight ends.
Actually, Mawa or whatever.
Yeah, but actually, also, back to the Browns. David Njoku. Can't forget about him. He's big.
Yeah, he is.
I would love to have him on my team.
Yeah. Hey, Maddie.
We have another guest, Maddie. Hello, Maddie.
Can you say anything?
No.
You don't want to say anything?
No.
You don't? Well, you just said something.
What?
And we also have a dog in here now.
Why?
Why do we have a dog? I don't know.
No, it's a bean dog.
It's a bean dog. Whoa. I call the dog Bean Dog because it looks like the dog from Bush's Baked Beans commercial. So that's why I call her that.
So, yeah, Bengals have a lot of problems, but if they're gonna try to do something at quarterback, I think they need to protect him a little bit more on the line. And then I think on defense, they need to sort of, I don't know, not get back to the nasty, penalty playmaking.
Oh, yeah,
defense.
with,
Vontez Burfict and all those guys.
Yeah.
But I think they need to get to more of a physical defense. A physical defense isn't a bad thing. But, you know,
it's not bad, but you need to have a discipline.
Yeah.
Physical, but discipline.
They need to get that physicality back.
Maddie, watch out. Okay. Maddie's helping us set up the podcast, even though it's kind of already set up. AFC South. Houston, I think they need to get an offensive line.
Yep.
And Tyrann Mathieu, wasn't he signed for a 1-year deal?
Yeah, he's a free agent now.
Is he really?
Okay,
so re-sign him.
Yeah.
He was kind of quiet this year. Okay.
Yeah, I think improve the offensive line, maybe get a little bit more dynamic at the running back position. Somebody who can break open some big plays for you, but definitely the offensive line. Deshaun Watson is good at scrambling, but that shouldn't have to be a big part of what he does.
Yeah. Maddie, I promise, Maddie, we'll play with you after this.
Okay.
But yeah, I just have get an offensive line, and I do like the two wide receivers, Hopkins, who I think is the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
And then they have Demaryius Thomas, but he just hurt himself, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
ACL, I'm pretty sure, so I don't know how he'll come back from that. But they also have that
the rookie.
The rookie.
Kiki Coutier.
Yeah, he's really good. So I think they're really good.
Yeah,
I think they're set. They just need
other than their offensive line. And that's going to be sort of the theme. Offensive line, quarterbacks, pass rushers, and secondary.
Tennessee, I really don't know. They're so inconsistent.
Yeah.
I don't know if Marcus Mariota, I don't even know what to say about him.
Yeah, I don't think you give up on him by any means.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't. I'm not saying draft him, get rid of him completely, but I do think you need to
figure something out there.
Yeah, I think his time is limited right now.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, whatever they were doing with Derrick Henry, whatever he was eating at the end of the season, put him on that diet to start the year. But I think what they need to do is get more consistent on defense by getting a more consistent pass rush. Adding to their pass rush, I think, changes their defense so that their secondary isn't being hung out to dry for as long.
Right. Indianapolis, the Colts. Get Luck some help. He has T.Y. Hilton and Eric Ebron.
And Eric Ebron was like a nobody before Luck.
Yeah.
Luck has literally turned his entire career around.
If they could get a tall receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
And maybe another receiver in free agency, I think they're really good because their offensive line is crazy. It's
great.
Completely
Quentin Nelson. Oh my goodness.
What a
he
beast.
Is so good.
What a 360 with that offensive line.
Yeah. And Marlon Mack has really stepped things up.
Yeah.
I think they could also help out their secondary on defense.
Yeah, I also had down, I think they need to draft some defensive players because they have a good pass rush.
Yeah.
Darius Leonard's a beast.
Yeah.
But I think just they draft some young guys for defense, and I think they're going to be good.
Particularly the secondary. I think they got burned on some big plays, and you can stop those. I think that'll make a big difference.
Jacksonville, I think they need to figure out what happened to that defense.
And figure out what you're doing at quarterback.
Sign Nick Foles. Sign Nick Foles.
No, he's coming back to Philly to be our third string for $1.
That would be nice for the Eagles, but I don't see it happening. I do think they should sign Nick Foles, or at least make a run for him. I don't know if Nick Foles would turn them around completely, but I do think he would definitely boost them offensively. They have D.D. Westbrook. They have a couple of good receivers, but I also think getting receivers good. Leonard Fournette is really good. But I think they should really try to get Nick Foles this offseason, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. I think one thing that he does particularly well is the deep ball. And adding that, I know Jaguars have some good speedy receivers. If you just add that threat of the deep ball, it opens up the run game for Fournette a lot more.
Mm-hmm. AFC West. Let's start with the losers of the AFC Championship game.
If you want to start with the losers of the AFC Championship game, it's the Chiefs. But if you want to start with the losers of the NFL, arguably, it's the Raiders. But we can start with the Chiefs.
I think they should just go all defense in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't think they should worry about offense. I mean, maybe finding a replacement running back.
Yeah. I don't think the guy did a bad job, but there's what's becoming a lot more popular is sort of that two-headed, three-headed backfield. Adding another guy at running back definitely wouldn't hurt.
But, yeah, I think they should just draft all defense.
All defense, particularly in the secondary, but also maybe some extra guys to bring in the pass rush.
Yeah. Chargers, I really don't know what they should do. I thought this is one of the best teams I've ever seen that Phillip Rivers has had. They just got manhandled by the Patriots.
I think offensively, great. They've got Melvin Gordon, Phillip Rivers, good receivers. Offensive line's not bad. They could maybe add a little more depth, but really not a bad offensive line. Their pass rush is good when everybody's healthy. And their secondary is really good. I think they got a great rookie out of the draft this past year. But one thing that they may want to look into is linebacker. Mm-hmm. I think if they get some more linebackers, particularly ones who are a little better in coverage, that could help them out a lot more. But some better linebackers for the Chargers. Otherwise, I don't really know what's holding them back. They should sort of be there.
Denver, it's kind of all around they need stuff. I'm hesitant on saying just blow it all up. Because, I mean, there's potential to make the playoffs, but I don't think you're going to win the Super Bowl. Maybe try to get something for Von Miller. But also, I think they need to draft a wide receiver because their top receiver is Emmanuel Sanders. And who else? That's all I can name.
Well, honestly, I liked Emmanuel Sanders more than Demaryius Thomas the last 2 years,
But he can't be your only
receiver. But he can't be your only receiver.
He's not a DeAndre Hopkins that can get.
And they lucked out at running back. They've got some great options at running back.
Phillip Lindsay.
But they need to figure out quarterback.
Case Keenum was a little bit of a disappointment.
And he's only got 1 year left on his deal. So you got a perfect situation where he can sort of show a new guy the ropes. And I'm not saying you need a first round, top 10
Maybe
pick.
like 6th, 5th round.
Yeah, but at least get somebody else in there that you think might be the future. If you find a guy that's, high 3rd round or early 2nd round or late 2nd round that you think, maybe let him sit for a little bit and learn under Case Keenum, who's not a bad quarterback.
Oh, no, not bad at all. I mean, look what he did with the Vikings.
Yeah, and then you just build up. They did get Courtland Sutton last year, so hopefully he'll, take another progression and maybe he'll help out a little with the receiving game. But I don't know about trading Von Miller particularly.
I've just heard it going around.
Yeah,
that it's a possibility. I don't know if I would do it because he's the leader on defense,
and he's the face of the team and the franchise right now. And
Old Spice.
Yeah, and Old Spice. And how can you not like him with those commercials?
Yeah. Oakland. The only thing I'm going to say is I saw recently that Marshawn Lynch lit a blunt with Al Davis's memorial fire.
I did not see that.
Nah, I saw that recently. I also saw that he might come back.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I don't know if Gruden wants him. And I don't know who would be more right in that situation because Marshawn Lynch is kind of old, but
But he actually did pretty good this year until he hurt his groin.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, how much are you really gonna have him?
Just give him some Skittles.
But anyways, me saying that the losers of the NFL are the Raiders, that was a little harsh because they.
I mean, you only traded like your top young receiver and arguably the best defensive player.
One of the best defensive players.
Right. Well, who's named top 3 defensive players?
Aaron Donald.
Okay.
Fletcher Cox.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that because
I mean, if you watch like the NFL and like good interior defensive players, Fletcher Cox is like half a step behind Aaron Donald simply because Aaron Donald's a lot younger.
Okay, what about just defensive players in general?
Defensive players in general?
Yeah, top 3.
Aaron Donald, Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox over J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
And Joey Bosa.
If we're talking 2014, then give me J.J. Watt. 2015.
Okay, I'll take that.
But J.J. Watt recently, Joey Bosa, I mean, you could make an argument either way, but he's also got Ingram on the other side of the line. Okay, and are you gonna look up sack totals or something?
No, I'm looking up defensive players because I can't think right now.
But and you could say Luke Kuechly and his tackles and stuff, but just in terms of disrupting the game, in multiple facets, Fletcher Cox destroys the run.
Okay,
the Eagles' run average has been dominant on defense, mostly because of Fletcher Cox. But then he also is an incredible pass rusher, and just being able to disrupt the game in both ways like that, I think. Just in the way that Aaron Donald can too, but I think it's hard to argue against him.
All right, I'll give you Fletcher Cox, but only at 3.
But
I think
Khalil Mack could probably sneak into that top 3. Depending on who you ask.
He's a top 3.
Depending on who you ask.
Anyone who says he is not top 3 is on something because I don't know if you can say anyone else who's better than him.
Yeah.
Maybe Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald's better than him. Aaron Donald's the best. I hate to say it. Aaron Donald's the best defense.
Dude, I saw him shirtless yesterday. Okay, that sounded weird. But, dude, he has a straight, like, 6-pack.
Look up Timmy Jernigan, the Eagles' defensive tackle, shirtless, and look up Aaron Donald shirtless. And Aaron Donald looks like, like he's not a defensive tackle.
It's Timmy Jernigan?
Yeah.
How do you spell his name?
J.
Oh, J.
But yeah, anyways, that's besides the
point. I thought he was have a little fat on him, but he's all muscle.
But the Raiders need to solve the problems that they made by getting rid of those great players. And they need to make sure that Derek Carr's the future. I don't know. I guess they probably don't have a bunch of pictures of Timmy Jernigan shirtless on.
They have one picture. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, he can take my money if he asks for it.
Yeah. But yeah, Raiders have a lot of problems, but they have a lot of draft capital, and that's what the Browns did, but it took them about 4 or 5 years of just building that draft capital before anything happened.
Yeah. More.
Good thing Gruden's got a 10-year deal, so he's got plenty of time.
My favorite website is I think it's Is Gruden been fired yet? Mm-hmm. And like once you click on the site, it like tells you how much money he's made
and how much money he's making every second. And it's got like the clock of how long he's been the coach and how much longer his contract
and how since joining the site how much money he's made.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, is Gruden gone yet?
Yeah, it's Gruden gone yet. That's the website. All right. NFC East. Where do you want to start? Let's start with the West, with the Rams.
Okay. You said NFC East, but I guess you meant NFC.
NFC West.
NFC West.
So Rams, I think they should just build on defense. If I'm being completely honest, just build on defense and make sure Cooper Kupp heals correctly.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I think, like I said in last episode, that the Chiefs could become a dynasty, I feel like the Rams are up in that conversation too, because if you look at their all-around team, they have an amazing team on paper. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, there's, like, a couple holes, but they're not, like, big.
Yeah. And the thing is it's just going to take clever juggling of the, salaries and everything to keep as few of holes as possible. But one hole I see right now is the edge rush. They can get pressure up the middle with Aaron Donald, but it's hard for them to contain a lot of quarterbacks around the edges because their edge rushing presence.
Oh, you're talking about their offensive line. Or are you talking...
No, their defense. They can't rush super well. The Rams can't. Aaron Donald can rush up the middle, but on the edges, they've got Dante Fowler, and he's going to be a free agent after this year. Mm-hmm. And they just got him like halfway through the year, and they've got some other guys who can get some pressure, but if they had a dominant edge rusher, like, I don't know, give them Brandon Graham. He's going to be a free agent this year. If you give Brandon Graham to them, they are going to be that next step up, I think.
And, I mean, not biased because he went to UVA, but Chris Long still has some stuff in him.
Yeah, he does too.
He still has some fight. I think it's just, build on that defense. I mean, it's a little inconsistent, but you have a really good defense. You got, they have some amazing players.
Yeah.
I think they just need to put it together, and I think they need to mature.
Yeah, they do.
I think that team really needs to mature.
Well, a lot of their really good players are kind of immature, particularly in
Marcus
the secondary.
Peters.
Yeah. Aqib Talib.
Yeah.
Shot himself in the leg with a gun.
Seattle, get an O-line and rebuild that defense.
I agree with both of those, but I also think another wide receiver wouldn't hurt him too.
Oh, yeah. I don't think another wide receiver would ever hurt another team. I mean, I'd rather be stacked on wide receiver than any other position. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe a lockdown secondary would be nice, but I mean, you can never complain having too many good wide receivers.
Yeah, that's true. But right now, for them particularly, they've got some good young guys that'll make plays here and there, and they've got what's his face? He screwed me over in fantasy, Doug Baldwin.
Yeah, I traded him to Cullen.
Yeah.
And then, actually, no, I couldn't find a trade, so I just released him.
Yeah, Doug Baldwin, and he had some good games too, but it's just not.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then San Francisco, I think they should really, 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 really push for Antonio Brown.
Yeah, give Jimmy Garoppolo the best safety valve in the National Football League, sort of, in my mind.
And they have, Kittle? What's his name?
Kittle?
Yeah.
Who, after Gronk or Ertz or somebody broke the record for receiving yards by tight end in a season. And then that same day, like an hour or two later, Kittle broke the record that Ertz just broke. And that's just incredible.
At first, I was a hater on Jimmy G, and the reason why is because I was like, oh, it's only one half of a season. Yeah, he won what was it? How many games did he win? Do you remember? 7 or 8?
Yeah, he joined at the end of the year, and I think he won all 6 or 7 or 8.
And I was like, okay, guys, relax. But then I was like, okay, hold on. And I looked at the team. They had nobody. Mm-hmm. And so
he won those games with absolutely nobody.
And then I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance. Mm-hmm. And then he went down. And so I'm also concerned about how he comes back.
Yeah. But you give him A, B, and that becomes less of a concern, too.
And Kittle.
Yeah.
And, well, what was it? Jerry McKinnon?
Yeah, McKinnon.
Who also tore his ACL.
Well, they also drafted that Ronald Jones guy, who was supposed to be a big player for him. So maybe. Who knows?
Arizona, I think they should draft a QB first round and trade Josh Rosen.
Really? I don't think you can throw away Josh Rosen yet, and I don't think there's that many great quarterbacks in the draft.
I don't think there are. I mean, Daniel Jones from Duke, Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State.
Guy from West Virginia, Greer.
Yeah. Kyle Murray. Kyler Murray. But, I mean, I don't know. Arizona is one of those other teams where there's a lot. David Johnson was really disappointing.
Yeah. I think their offensive line could use some help, for sure. And their defense could get a little bit more aggressive, too.
Yeah. But, yeah, Arizona's just one of those teams where it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
2 more divisions. Actually, no. 3 more divisions. Where do you want to go from here? South, north, or east?
I don't care.
Let's go to the NFC North with Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit. Chicago, I think... What?
Sorry, they need a kicker.
Yeah, they need a kicker.
Cody Parkey is the highest, I believe he is the highest paid kicker, or one of the highest paid kickers in the league, and he also had the most field goal misses by hitting an upright this season. He had like
6.
He had like 6 of them. That's insane. That is insane. And then the one that he had in the worst moment possible, you can't keep that guy on the team. I'm sorry. And, you know, I'm sure he's a nice guy and everything, but they need to get a different kicker.
Yeah, I'd probably have a beer with him when I turn 21.
Oh, I'll buy him a beer. You got us another step further in the playoffs.
But, yeah, get him off the team. But in all seriousness, get some more weapons for Trubisky.
I was serious. They need a more reliable kicker.
Oh.
They missed a bunch of field goals this year, and they lost games.
They could have won games.
Yeah.
Okay, but who do you get?
I don't know.
But
that's
Gostkowski's, I think, a free agent.
That's my thing, is they need to find a more reliable kicker. That's what they need to do this offseason. I don't know who they're going to get. I'm not a freaking GM. Next.
Next. Oh, also, build on the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, your defense is amazing. Just keep building on it.
Yeah.
Minnesota, revamp the defense and get one more wide receiver. I know they have Thielen and Diggs, but that's literally all they have.
Rudolph's not bad.
Rudolph's not bad, but I'd want maybe just one more guy.
I would say
to feel comfortable.
I would say their offensive line could use a little help too. And that's a theme in a lot of teams because, you know, there's 5 offensive linemen on a team that play, at least. And that's in every single team all across the league, and there's only so many good offensive linemen, so it's sort of a problem for a lot of teams.
Yeah. Green Bay, all defense in the draft, I think. Maybe one or two rounds where you go offense, but also I highly doubt it, but I think they should try to get Antonio Brown.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't know what they would give up. But also, I think they should try to sign Adam Humphries or Golden Tate.
A nice little slot guy?
Yeah. I mean, Randall Cobb's nice.
He's old, though.
But he's old.
He's really not that nice. But
he used to be.
Rodgers makes him look a lot nicer than he is. But, yeah, I agree. Green Bay needs a lot of help on defense. And they've been drafting for the secondary, but just nobody's been working out.
Yeah. So. The Lions, I think they should try to sign T.J. Yeldon. Because I don't think they've had a 1,000-yard running back in a couple of years.
Yeah, but they have some good guys at running back now, I think. Who's the rookie they got?
Theo Reddick?
No, the rookie they got this past year. Kerryon Johnson. I think Kerryon Johnson can be a good running back of the future for the Lions.
All right, well, I'll throw out my other thing then. I was going to say at least try for Le'Veon.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad idea to have talent on your team.
Yeah.
It's never a bad idea. But I think one thing they could also use is some help on the defense, either in a pass rusher or in the secondary. Because I think Matt Stafford is the answer. He's a really talented quarterback.
Oh, he's a great quarterback. He just needs 5 quarters to get it done.
And he needs some more receiver help, too.
Yeah.
But the Lions have a handful of problems.
All right, let's save the best for last, and we'll start with the NFC South. Let's start with the bottom, Tampa Bay. They're just a dumpster fire.
Yeah, they've got to figure out what's going on at quarterback.
Yeah, with Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. He's not that good right now.
No, he's not, and he's not really that dedicated or disciplined. It seems. And so, I don't know.
And you're wasting Mike Evans' talent.
Yeah, Mike Evans is so good.
He would look a lot better if he had a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Which
so figure out your quarterback. I don't know. It's easier said than done, but that's really what they need to do.
Who'd they just hire? Bruce Arians?
Did they just hire him?
I think so.
Okay, I know there was talk of Bruce Arians coming out of retirement.
Yeah. Carolina, I think, drafted QB, but late.
Yeah. Yeah, you need at least a good backup because Cam Newton's...
There's talk that he's not even going to play this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, yeah, you definitely need a quarterback.
And also, draft a wide receiver. Don't sign one. Just draft one. Because, I mean, Devin Funches, I think DJ Moore, I think.
Yeah, DJ Moore was the new guy they got this year. I don't know. But, yeah. They could use some help there.
And then, Atlanta, get healthy. They had so much potential this year.
They need to get healthy. They need to get healthy on defense.
Oh, yeah, because that's what really screwed them over.
Their safeties. I think in the first game against the Eagles, they lost like two, or second game against the Eagles, they lost like 2 safeties. In that one game, and I think over the next like 2 games, they lost like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, because they have an amazing off, and they lost Devontae Freeman.
Yeah,
yeah. So Mohamed Sanu, Calvin Ridley, Julio, and Devontae Freeman, and then they have pretty good backup running back.
Yeah,
what Coleman? I think his name is
Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, they just need. I think this year they got cursed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Steelers are the whole Madden cover curse. I've been thinking about that recently.
Yeah.
Dude, their whole team got cursed because of AB being on the cover this year. Sorry, I know they're not in the NFC South, but I heard lots of injuries, and that's a thing with the Madden curse, and so I was like, hey, they got New Orleans. I think just work on defense because they have a good defense, but it could be a lot better.
I think they got some good young guys on defense. Keep developing those. Get some new good young guys in there, like you're saying. But I think at tight end, that's the big hole on offense. Yeah, they need a
tight end, and also keep Mark Ingram. Try to keep Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Do you think Mark Ingram could be your first running back on a team?
Like the only one?
Well, not. Well, I mean, obviously I have backups.
Like if I'm the Eagles. I'll take Mark Ingram with the Darren Sproles 1-2 punch.
Okay,
I would take that any day of the week.
But I'm talking about like your every down back.
Beat us
like
2013.
Like, do you think he could be like an every down back?
I don't know about every down, but there's definitely situations for which he's favored. Right. But I think he works well with a guy like a Kamara.
Right. All right. Last division.
But not East.
Last but definitely not East. We'll do the teams that no one cares about first, and then we'll get to the 2 best teams.
Okay.
In this horrible, trashy division. The Redskins find a new QB. I like Alex Smith, but after his injury and how old he is, I think they need to find someone else. I'm not saying like don't cut him.
Yeah.
But I'm also not saying he needs don't even worry about quarterback.
Yeah, no, I mean I like Alex Smith.
And Colt McCoy's not the answer either.
Yeah, no, I like those guys.
And it's not Josh Johnson.
Yeah, no, they're all nice guys and everything, but it's not like because you're a nice guy, you're going to be the Redskins' next quarterback.
Yeah,
it's got to be somebody who's actually good at playing quarterback.
Yeah, and just get weapons. Really.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Their receivers have been pretty miss.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, not even just receivers, just weapons in general.
Yeah.
Get like a knife, AR-15 to bring on the field. That's kind of bad to say, but I mean, no one's probably listening.
At this point, they could use it.
At this point, they could use it, but also no one's probably listening right now.
Oh, your grandma finally tuned off?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, 54-minute podcast.
We should really try that.
Screw this. But yeah, I think it's just I think they need help on almost everything.
Yeah.
Offensive line is okay, but it got really hurt this year.
Well, that's their other problem. The Skins have been decimated by injuries the last 2 seasons. So,
New York draft Kyler Murray.
Yeah, get a new quarterback.
Get a new quarterback. I think they would be really. Just imagine a rookie quarterback, Saquon and Odell.
That would be exciting.
That, as much as I hate the Giants, I would love to see that. I would love to see Kyler Murray.
That would be exciting. I don't know how well it would work or how long it would take to develop fully, but it would be exciting.
All right. Who should we go to? The Eagles or the Cowboys?
Let's go
Eagles. Let's do Eagles.
Okay.
I think really for me, it's just decide on Wentz or Foles.
That decision's been made.
Okay.
We're gonna go.
I know it's
we're
Foles.
gonna go with the younger quarterback who gets paid less money, who has a brighter future that more of the team is bought into.
But also, do you keep Foles? Even though
no. So right now, the way the contract's set up is Foles. If Foles and the team agree, then they get a 1-year addition to the contract for $20 million. Their starting quarterbacks aren't even paid $20 million. Who's gonna pay a backup quarterback $20 million? Especially when we have like the worst salary cap numbers out of the whole league at this point right now. Anyways, I would love to, but it's just not plausible.
Right. I also think just get a running back. I think you guys need to find an every down back because I think Sproles is probably last year. He's old.
Well, and we've got a bunch of pass rushers going into free agency.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham, Chris Long. So we need to get some more pass rushers.
All right, last one. The Cowboys. Me and Kenzie talked about last episode with our teams. Re-sign DeMarcus Lawrence, Beasley, sign Jared Cook and Earl Thomas. They finally got rid of Rob Marinelli. No.
Scott Linehan.
Scott Linehan.
We made that suggestion, and just a couple days later they did it. Yeah, they must have been listening.
And now they're thinking about Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator.
Is that what they're thinking?
That's what they're leaning towards.
Oh, that'd be perfect. If they replace Scott Linehan with a younger, more boring Scott Linehan.
Exactly. That's why I'm excited for it. So I think that's going to be the end for this podcast. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out what to do because next week is the Pro Bowl, and
we'll be watching that so intensely that we won't be able to give you all.
Yeah, we'll just be so involved with it. I couldn't tell you what happened. But all jokes aside, I'm considering not doing a podcast next week. I know that my 3 fans will be disappointed, but I don't know what to talk about the Pro Bowl. We've talked about the Super Bowl. We gave our prediction for that, so I don't know really what to do for that. So maybe I'll see you next week. But I have 2 people that I'm talking with right now to do the NBA season. I might take a week off just to get ready for it, to do lots of research because I honestly haven't paid attention because football's on. So I'll let you guys know when I know.